What's good? What's good? What's good? This gonna be a pretty long video. Stay to the end. Hear what I say. Tell me what you think in the comments. That's all I can really say.
I have been trained, very strongly trained by my mentor to never believe a woman's story in her marriage. I cannot tell you the amount of times that I have gotten sucked into a woman's story because we are so convincing. We are so manipulative. We know how to dramatize and exaggerate the circumstances and experiences in the marriage to suck someone in, to feel sorry for us, to validate us in our victim story, and have even really no awareness to question that story from a woman and try to understand, well, what would the husband say, or what's his experience though? What's his side of the story? And we bring that into therapy. So like I said, I can't tell you how many times over 10 years that I got sucked into a woman's story, and my mentor had to help me break through my cognitive dissonance and get back to the fundamental truth that I know. I've gotten so much better. It's very rare that happens now, but it can still happen because we are so convincing. It's just like, it would almost be blasphemy to not believe some of the things a woman says. And oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you have to, that's terrible. Maybe he's not a good man. We are so convincing. And I've also had the pleasure over the years where I've worked with a woman. She has a strong story of her husband and how he can be aggressive or controlling and a narcissist. And she paints this story. And then I've had the pleasure to actually meet her husband, because she's tried to, we always want our husbands to change. So it's interesting. Women will convince their husbands to take my men's course, which is interesting because of what I teach men in that course, which is about all our woman ways and how men have to take their power back. But I've met these husbands, and I meet them, and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she has this story of this man, because they're the typical good man, just loves their wife, is caring, is confused about how they're always wrong and can't be right. And when I meet the husband, it doesn't add up at all with the woman's story of him. So therapists are not trained to break through the stories of a woman. And because they're already biased, they already have that gender bias to believe and take on the perceptions of the woman and have that prejudice towards men, they get sucked in. And here's the thing, is that the very same tactics we use as women in a marriage to manipulate our husbands and brainwash them to believe they are the problem are the same manipulative tactics that we use to draw a therapist into our story and get the therapist on our side. We're using the same tactics, and then the therapist gets brainwashed into believing the man is the problem. I've had several female clients over the years who very quickly trusted me because I didn't buy into their stories, and I called them out on it. I have one client in particular, I will never forget my first conversation with her. She reached out to me. She had this big story about her husband. He never pays me any attention. He doesn't validate me. He doesn't even compliment me ever. He never even says, I love you. And she had this whole story, but she was also sharing, but I know I have these behaviors and this is how I show up. And this is a very high powered woman with a very successful business. And she gets done telling her story. And I knew I had to be totally direct with her to gain her trust, to gain her respect. And I told her point blank, the problem is your husband is terrified of you because you are such, pardon my language, because you are such a bitch. And I didn't mean it mean, and I didn't mean it judgmentally. I was just telling it to her straight. And also knowing my own experience of myself as a woman and the women that I had worked with. And her jaw dropped open and I didn't know what was going to come out next. But she just looked at me and she said, "Thank you. You're 100% correct." She said, "I've never ever had a therapist ever be direct with me and has always let me manipulate them. You're the first person who's called me out." So we have to be called out, women, and we have to see what's really going on. And if they're a couples counselor, isn't going to do that because they're already trained to believe our story.
I have been.
Whew, that was a mouthful. Now, I went to counseling. Well, yeah, therapist, counseling, same thing. Well, yeah, counseling would be couples, but I went to a therapist. Not to say that I was manipulating, because I kept it 100. I went there to sort out my problems. I will tell it to you, and I tell you the answers I come down with. Let me know if I'm crazy or not. Now, the reason why initially I never trust therapists, because from the stories that I've seen, people do go for their job, do it for a job. And then some people, they're one-sided. Like, I don't know if y'all remember the TikTok therapist lady. Is like, if I had got her for a therapist, would she even listen to me? Like, would she have? But I don't know. I got people that I understand that they worked for me. So I talked. You feel me? Maybe that's the difference. But this is why I always ask questions. Always. It's like, no, you're not telling me that that's what happened. It's two sides to that story. It's three sides to the story: yours, mine, and the truth. But you know what I mean. And it took a therapist. Now, I'd go to her class. I would, immediately. You keeping it 100 and telling me, yes, that's what I want. I know that y'all do have to get to know people, do your little evaluations, but tell me, because I call myself out all the time, especially when I do something I know I'm not supposed to do. I just chalk it up, and sometimes I'll be like, you know what, fuck it, I don't care, and do it. Those are the things I got to work on. I know that personally, but what can I say? I'm being the best me that I could be. But can I say anything else to that video? No. She kept it 100. She told y'all a story. I definitely check out her class. And that's that's the crazy part about it, because she talked to the husband. That's why with therapy, they should do what she do. Is like, you're coming here, if you're not coming for you and you're coming for your partner, but you're coming to talk about your partner, you should bring them. Because are you going to lie in front of my face? Put on that big facade? And the worst part about it is like, yo, I bet you they never even knew this was going on. They probably did know, but never listened to it or thought about it, and they just thought there was a problem. You feel me? Didn't know that that person's thinking that you're holding them hostage. And crazy part about the whole start of it, if y'all noticed, when she was explaining the ladies, all she had was me this, me this, me this, me this, me this, I this, me this. It's like, yo, do these men always say me and I to you? And mind you, these women are married. Somebody loved them. And I'm pretty sure it's a lot more of y'all out there. Take notes from because we're willing to get the shellacking. We just need a little bit more now. Just a little bit more of that respect thing. You might have to shut up too, but that's just me saying. And I'm out.